Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel, the #1 YouTube channel for you to level up your communication skills, learn the art of public speaking, social skills, and personal branding to take your message to the world. For today's episode, we're going to be talking about the art of rewiring your subconscious mind, and you can also call it hypnosis. Hypnosis is a very taboo word because when we think of this particular word, we think of that very old, creepy man getting a watch and dangling it right in front of you. You are getting very, very sleepy. Although this is something that is what the mainstream idea of hypnosis is that all that it is? No. You are actually hypnotizing yourself all the time. A part of you, as you are maturing, as you are growing up, your beliefs are becoming modified. Have you ever had that one moment where you were vehemently against a certain viewpoint, and as you started to grow up, you were able to understand this particular viewpoint very, very well? That's because whether you were aware of it or not, your subconscious mind was getting hypnotized into new belief patterns. So you didn't just suddenly change your mind. It was incrementally, constantly building up to a point where you had conscious awareness of when your mind had changed. That's the beauty of the mindset. There's a lot of variables that work alongside it. And in today's episode, you're going to learn how to be exclusive. Because us as a whole, we're not taught too much about the mindset growing up because it's a very difficult thing to put into words, to articulate. And as we start growing up, there's a certain population that is able to understand the mindset in a stronger level. They're able to tell the difference between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. But that's where their learning stops. They're not able to use this newfound information to apply it for practical uses. For today's episode, you're going to be able to graduate. You're going to be part of the minority that is able to turn the conscious mind and the subconscious mind for practical uses. You, my friend, are going to learn how to rewire your subconscious mind. You know, that mind that dictates roughly about 95% of your reality, that mind. If you're ready to level up, make sure you drop a like for me right on below, and let's begin. First of all, what's the difference between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind? At a very core level, the conscious mind is the mind that you process life with via conscious intent. When you are using your intellect, when you are thinking, when you are paying attention, you are using the conscious mind. And language, such as English, for example, is something that you can use to communicate with the conscious mind. The conscious mind is simply the tip of the iceberg, and this is the mind that most of us just operate in. So this is the conscious mind. The subconscious mind is the rest of the iceberg, the mind that controls 95% of your reality. And just like how this mind, the conscious mind, can mainly speak the language of English, this mind speaks a completely different language. The language that it speaks is via images and emotions. Let me say that again because it's very, very important and it's going to set up the rest of the video. Your subconscious mind speaks pictures and emotions. Now, these are two things that you were never taught. No one necessarily taught you how to imagine something. No one sat you down and was like, today we're going to be teaching you how to daydream. It's just something that sort of happened. Same with feeling. No one sat you down and said, hey, today we're going to teach you how to cry. You were just able to do it on your own, which is why these two particular entities are extremely important in order to communicate with the subconscious mind. Keep this in your mental note because we're going to be addressing this later on. Now, the next part of this video I want to talk about is why is it that your childhood dictates so much of your adulthood? It's mainly because from ages 0 to 7, your brain is predominantly in the theta wave patterns. During the theta wave patterns, what happens is that you're sort of like a sponge. You're just absorbing all of the data that is around your reality, and you're making sense of the world. That's why if you are trying to learn a language, some of the best times to learn is when you are a little kid. When I was a little kid, I remember learning how to write and read Bangla. And ever since I moved to the US, I didn't have to do it too much. I had to now mainly focus on reading English, learning how to speak English. But since I learned Bangla at such a young age, there's a part of me that can still read it. It takes a lot of time for me to read it, but there's certain times I could put together the words. Now this is crazy because I haven't consciously put focus into reading and writing Bangla ever since I was a little kid. Yet it's in the subconscious mind. So let me reiterate, from ages 0 to 7, your brain is predominantly in the theta wave patterns, which allows you to be a sponge, which allows you to program your subconscious mind without you even trying. But you know what happens. We eventually end up growing up. And once we start growing up, it becomes a little bit more difficult for us to operate via the subconscious mind and for us to absorb all this data, because at this stage in our life, we are predominantly focusing via the alpha and the beta brainwave patterns. Alpha is when you are relaxed, you're just chilling, you're flowing. And beta is when you are a little bit more jumpy, more focused, having to think when you're reading a book, for example. This is beta. And for most of adulthood, we are spending our time in alpha or beta, alpha or beta. When this is the case, it becomes a little bit more difficult for us to reprogram our subconscious mind. But just because it's difficult does not mean it's impossible. And here are two ways that you can rewire it. One way is the very, very fast way, and the other way is the slow way. I want to teach you how to do both, because by being able to leverage both, you are able to have much more charge of your future. So the first way is the very fast way, and this often happens without our intention. This happens through trauma. When you are traumatized by something, let's say someone punches you in the face, or let's say a very loved one suddenly passes away and you are not expecting it at all, your emotions get spiked up. You feel it to a very strong degree, and when your emotions get spiked up like that, it basically just takes a snapshot of that particular moment, which now has a picture in your mind. So earlier I was talking about how for your subconscious mind, it speaks two predominant languages, images and emotions, which is why traumatizing moments speak to that particular language. And I just want to give you a quick little example. A few years ago, one of my really good friends, he ended up dying in a highway car accident. And after he passed away, he was so young, and I had to reach out to his family. I reached out to his older brother, who I didn't know that well, but I knew enough to just say, hey, look, I'm really sorry for the passing away of your brother. If you need anything, feel free to reach out to me. But this older brother, he didn't want to ask me for any help because, he was a very proud guy. And as a few months passed on by, I would still check up on him. I was like, yo, dude, you good? You need anything? He's like, nah, I don't need anything, but thank you for checking up on me. As a few more months passed on by, one day he hits me up and he's like, yo, Armani, I need a favor. I was like, yo, what's good? He's like, yo, bro, so I'm selling my car and I'm selling it in this pretty far town. Once I drop it off, do you mind picking me up from there? I was like, yeah, bro, no problem at all. So that weekend, he ends up selling his car. I drive over to pick him up, which is a pretty far town from where I'm at. And I'm about to drive back to Tampa. As I'm about to drive back, I am about to get on the highway. And as I'm about to get on the highway, this brother was like, yo, dude, you're gonna take the highway back home? I was like, yeah, dude. If I took the local roads, it would take us 2 hours to get back. With the highway, it's just going to take 40 to 45 minutes max. And something didn't sit right with him. He was just like, all right, man, all right. And as I'm driving on the highway, a part of him at this point is getting very, very uncomfortable. He's like, dude, I don't want to be a nuisance, but do you please mind taking the local roads back? I'll pay for any added gas that you need. Now, part of me was like, sure, bro, I'll do it. But deep inside, I was wondering, why does he want me to take the local roads? Doesn't he know that it's going to take us longer to get back? Now, logically, that made a lot of sense. But guess what? Due to his brother passing away on the highway, that was a very, very traumatizing moment for him. It bypassed his logic and it hit straight to the subconscious mind, the mind that controls 95% of our reality. So logically, he may have known that, yeah, it's going to take longer via the local roads, yet his subconscious mind was imprinted. Now, this wasn't a good example of you rewiring your subconscious mind. I just did want to bring it to your awareness that this can happen. A lot of the ways that you act the way that you do may be because of certain traumatizing moments that you probably have no conscious awareness of. This particular brother that I was talking about, I don't think he knew why he was really, really scared of highways. I think a part of him knew, but I don't think he intellectually made peace with it. Still, the subconscious mind does not care about logic. It cares about pictures and emotions. Now, this was just one quick example of something that you can use to leverage the subconscious mind in a very quick way. That's trauma. Not all trauma is bad. Some trauma is good. For example, if you're very shy, you can spend a lot of time trying to fix yourself via the shyness through social interactions, and that's going to take a while. Or you can actively traumatize yourself in the good way. You can put your fears aside and jump right into the public speaking world. That is you tackling the beast head on. Now, of course, you're going to feel a lot of trauma because you are just feeling all these emotions. You're shy, plus you're feeling all these emotions. No way in hell are you going to figure it out. Keep pushing through, and eventually you'll see yourself learning the art of public speaking. Now, this right here, due to the influx of emotions, you are doing what? You are feeling a lot of emotions, which are snapshotting images via your subconscious mind. So this example right here that I gave you of my friend that passed away and the public speaking example, these are fast ways for you to short circuit into the subconscious mind. So this is the first method. And the second method is what I call the slower method. And the slower method traditionally happens through repetition and practice. For you to understand this, you have to realize that anytime that you're practicing anything, what you're doing is you're turning it from a conscious act into a subconscious instinct. Think about driving, for example. When you were first learning how to drive, it was one of those, oh shit, man, I mean, there's so many things that I have to learn. Oh no, I hope I don't die. And there's a lot of conscious effort that is being put into this moment. You are paying attention, you are thinking, you're using a lot of creative faculties to make sure that you figure it out, that you don't die. But after repetition, after practice, what you are doing is you're going from the conscious to the subconscious demeanor. And nowadays, when you are in the subconscious realm, you don't need to think. It actually can become a little bit annoying if you try to think while doing a subconscious act. Just think about driving. Imagine you're driving and your kid brother, who's like 5 years old, is asking you how you drive. Well, how much pressure are you putting into the accelerator? Can you be a little bit more descriptive? How much pressure? You're going to be thinking, I don't know, man, I'm just pressing it. That's it. I'm just clicking the brakes. That's it. It's because you've transitioned from the conscious to the subconscious. It requires repetition and it requires practice. We talking about practice? Allen Iverson voice? Yes, we're talking about practice. There's no sexy way to do this. This requires a lot of repetition. Now here's a few things that I want you to understand. Doing it fast and wrong is not good. Do it slow and right. Practice in the correct way. Whatever you're trying to do, just keep repeating it over and over again. Once it comes down to you trying to rewire your subconscious mind, you're going to have to do it over and over again. Now, how are you going to do it? What are some practical steps? Well, affirmations are extremely popular. And with affirmations, you have to understand how to do it correctly. You just reciting the words out loud, that is not going to do much for you, because you just saying the words out loud, that is you just using the conscious mind. When you are repeating it over and over, what's eventually going to happen is you are ingraining neural pathways into your brain, which makes it easier for you to see the images of whatever you are doing affirmations on. If you keep saying, I am a great public speaker, I am a great public speaker, and you don't feel any emotions, you don't have any sort of experience to back it up, then it's going to be very difficult for you to transition from the conscious to the subconscious state. Which is why with affirmations, you have to realize that it's just a tool to warm you up. I said that the subconscious mind speaks in pictures and emotions, not English. That's just for the conscious mind. So as you start doing the affirmations, you have to realize that it's a tool. If I'm just saying I am a great public speaker, I'm a great public speaker, and then right after I sit on my ass and watch TV all day, then it's just going to stay in the conscious level. It's just going to be words to me. If I start practicing some speeches, whether it's even me just speaking in front of a camera, whatever it is, once I have certain levels of experience involved, now these words, the affirmations, are turning into something much, much deeper. It's turning into pictures, and as I'm seeing the pictures, I'm able to have certain emotions tied with it. So that's one way to repetitively reprogram your subconscious mind. It's via affirmations. Another way is via visualization. For visualization, you are cutting right past the affirmations, going straight into the pictures, and whenever you see the pictures, you feel the emotions as well, as long as you can clarify the pictures. I have a video on visualization. I'll drop a link right in the description box below if you are new to how to visualize. And you can combine it. You could combine affirmations with visualization. With affirmations, you are just kind of warming up your brain on what to visualize. But ultimately, unless you are seeing the pictures and feeling the emotions, your subconscious mind is not being rewired. You cannot intellectually logic yourself with this one. It's really that simple. It needs pictures and it needs emotions. I want to keep on reiterating that because this can save you a lot of time. Now, one little expert tip that I want to give you is that as adults, does it have to be so damn difficult to reprogram our subconscious mind? Can we make it a little bit easier, like our younger selves when we were in Theta brainwaves? Surprisingly, we can. Because as an adult, what happens is we spend most of our lives via 4 different brainwave states. I said alpha is when you're relaxing, when you're just chilling. Beta is when there's more attention, there's more focus involved. Delta is when you're sleeping. And theta, you have this in your adult state right when you are waking up and right when you're about to go to sleep. Did you just hear what I said? So as an adult, you have 2 modes of theta waves. You know, those waves that you had when you were a little kid where you were just absorbing information. Even as an adult, you have 2 times when you have the theta waves. When you're waking up, when you're going to sleep. So when do you think is the best times to do your affirmations, to do your visualization? When you're waking up or when you're right about to go to sleep. It's that freaking simple. So don't make it too difficult. I mean, if you have time when you're waking up, just focus on doing a little bit of visualization training. It's a muscle. So just close your eyes and just kind of see some stuff that you can see being in your future. Most of the masses, what they do as soon as they wake up is they're like, oh, where's my phone? I gotta go on my phone to check out Twitter, to check out Snapchat, Instagram, all this stuff. And what they're doing in the states where they're most susceptible for suggestions is that they're programming themselves via social media. Because just because you're waking up and you're going to sleep via theta waves and you're doing social media does not mean that you are just shutting off your hypnosis states. You are still highly suggestible. So if that's the case, why not be a proactive winner and plant the thoughts that you want in your reality? Just do that. So let me just reiterate. You can do affirmations, you can do visualization, and if you want, you can also just create content, because content creation allows you to take an active measure of repeating the same ideas over and over in various different ways where it's congruent with your experiences. And that's about it. These are different ways that you can reprogram your subconscious mind. So let's just do a little recap. One of the ways that you can reprogram your subconscious mind is via the very fast way, and this is via trauma. Trauma can be bad or it can be good. Whatever the case is, it is short-circuiting to your subconscious mind, the mind that views life via pictures and emotions. This is the very, very fast way to reprogram your subconscious mind. Now, the slower way requires repetition. It requires you to constantly keep hammering home the new neural pathways until it transitions from conscious into a subconscious process. The way that you can do this is by repeating certain affirmations, backing it up with experiences so it starts delving deeper into your subconscious mind. You can start doing visualization where you start seeing the images that you want to see for your reality until it starts going in your subconscious mind. Two of the best times to do this is right when you're waking up or right when you're about to go to sleep. One bonus tip is to start creating content. Start writing tweets, start writing daily emails, start recording videos so you are focusing on repeating certain mantras to yourself, whether you're aware of it or not. What do you think stories are? I mean, stories speak right to a human's image and their feeling-based mentality. That's why stories are so powerful. Our entire world was built off of perceptions. It was built off of the backs of short stories. This isn't rocket science to all put together. The subconscious mind controls 95% of your reality. It's about time that you start taking an active approach towards hypnotizing yourself. And after watching this video, you hopefully no longer think that hypnosis is all about you're getting very, very sleepy. That could just be one of the things, but that doesn't have to be the case for you. Learn to navigate different parts of your life. If traumas happen, make peace with them and learn from them, or be strategic and execute the right traumatic moments into your life. And view traumatic moments in a good way as well, such as public speaking. The other case is repetition, champ. Just repeat over and over again. Anything that you have done in your life that you can do in autopilot, you weren't ever able to do it in the beginning stages with ease. It started off in the conscious mind, like typing. You kept practicing, you kept showing up, you kept putting in the work, and now it's a subconscious act. You don't need to look at the keyboards. You just type so seamlessly, so effortlessly, so beautifully. Make that a reality in all other parts of your life. And what you'll notice is that your subconscious mind, the 95% mind, as I like to call it, starts influencing your conscious mind. Your conscious mind returns the favor by re-influencing your subconscious mind, and you create this very, very beautiful loop, a loop full of productivity. Get started today. Thank you for joining the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel, and I'll catch you on the next episode.